You're listening to the weekly Parsha podcast, recorded with Hashem's never-ending assistance in Ramat B'Shem Israel 5775, 2014. This week's Parsha is Parshas Vayera, and I'd like to read to you a piece from Reb Nosson, which quotes from one of the psukim in our Parsha. It's not a direct explanation of something that's going on in the Parsha, but the idea is so beautiful and so deep that I'd like to share it with you. The Torah tells us, so just give you the idea, the story, and we'll see the drush, we'll see how he uses the pasuk. It's a little bit out of context, but he uses the verse to explain this idea. The psukim is talking about how Lot, the nephew of Abraham, had come to live with the people of Sodom. And Hashem had decided that it's time to destroy the people of Sodom, to destroy the city. But Lot was to be saved. And so Hashem sends these malachim, the angels, to go and to save him. Now, in the process of sending these malachim, so Lot brings him into his house, which is something which was forbidden in the city of Sodom. The people of Sodom, they were extremely wealthy. They had all of their needs, but they still had a very constricted view of reality. They felt that if I have what I have, you can't come. I can't give it to you. I have exactly what I'm meant to have. And if I come and I give it to you, there's no such idea as Abraham. Abraham has a concept of chesed. He shares his wealth. He gives it to those who are in need. But the people of Sodom, they felt that I can't give away what I have. What I have is specifically for me, and if I give it to you, there's something immoral about that. So they were of the opinion that anyone who would come into their town asking for alms, poor people who would come, these people were trespassers. These people were unwanted, undesirables. And so it was forbidden in Sodom to give tzedakah, to give charity, to help people, to give people anything. So now when these malachim came, Lot had been trained by Abraham, and he had gone the way of Abraham, and he emulated Abraham to a certain extent, and he wanted to bring these malachim, who he thought they were people, but he wanted to bring them into his home. And now, what happens as a result is that the people of Sodom find out about this, and they're coming and they're surrounding the home, and they're trying to prevent Lot from doing this kindness, from doing this, the chesed that he wishes to do. And there's almost literally a riot that goes on outside of his house. So this is what happens. It says in chapter 19, verse 5, "Vayikru'u el Lot vayamru lo." They came from young to old, the people of Sodom. They surrounded the house and they called out to Lot and they said, "Ayeh ha'anoshim asher bo'u elecha halayla." Where are those people that came to you tonight? "Hoitziim eleinu v'neda oisam." Bring them out that we will know them. And as Rashi tells us, it meant that they wanted to have homosexual relations with them. So this was a serious. They were serious. They wanted to rape them. Now, what happens is Lot comes out and he tries to convince them, also in a very strange way we won't get into, but tries to convince them, no, don't take my guests. And then the people of Sodom say to him, this is in verse 9, "Vayomru gesh hala." They said to him, come forward. "Vayomru ha'echad balagur vayishbot shafot." And they said to him, what? You're going to come here. You want to live with us and you're going to judge us. Ata nora lacha mehem. Let us do what we want. Let us do what the evil that we want to. Vayivtzeru vayish b'loit ma'od vayikshelish boradalas. They tried to convince him, and they came to try to break the door. Now, the next verse says, "Vayishlechu anoshim es yadam, vayaviu es leir aleim haboisa." Now, what happens is the malachim, the angels who were there to save Lot. So first, they actually had to save Lot from the people of Sodom, and so they pulled Lot into the house, Isadel Sagaru, and they closed the door, such that the people of Sodom can't enter into the house. Then it says in verse 11, "Ves hanoshim asher pesach habayis hiku v'sanverim mikatoin v'ad gadol." So you have children, you have adults, all these people coming to try to grab, to nab the trespassers. These malachim, they didn't know, but they were angels who had tried to come in. And they weren't able to, because what happens is the malachim, they struck all of these people with blindness. Amazing thing, that the people of Sodom, despite the fact that they were now blinded, they couldn't see anything, but they still tried to get to the door. They were not ready to give up. They're gonna do whatever they need to do in order to perpetrate their crime against these unwanted guests. Now, let's take that whole scenario, that whole background, that whole story, that whole crazy, chaotic scene, if you can imagine it in your mind. And now let's see what Reb Nosson has to say, because he says that what this whole scene really represents is the way that the side of impurity, the side of darkness, the side of evil tries to prevent a Jew, to prevent a spiritual seeker from accomplishing his goal, from having a true relationship with Hashem. And he says that if you read the pasuk carefully, it says, Vayilu limtzei pasach, the chaotic forces of evil, the force of Sodom, this force of destruction, this force of anti-chesed, of anti-kindness. What does it do? That even though they're blinded, they are trying to find the doorway. They're trying to find the entrance. So he focuses in on the word entrance, and he says like this: Ki ikar ma'arav shel hasitra achra v'klipos hu eitzel pesach de kedusha. Where's the fight? Where's the battle that the other side, the side of evil, the forces of evil have? It's at the doorway of holiness. Sheshamim roivtzim v'orvim. That's the place where they lie in wait to ambush. V'shoimrim livli lahaniach lichnos l'seif peschei kedusha. They don't let a person enter into the doorway of holiness. Ki haklipos nekraim neturei tara. The evil forces are called those who wait at the doorway, those who wait at the gate. She'ayin demetzel pesach. They stand there at the door. Sheloi lahaniach lichnos michutz lifnim. They don't let a person enter from outside into the inside. Asher yizke l'shabram, until a person merits to destroy the forces of evil. This is the aspect of what the verse refers to when Hashem is speaking to Cain. After Cain is upset, but before he's actually killed Hevel, before Cain has killed Abel, God says to him, be careful, watch out, la pesach chatas revitz. At the doorway, you're at the threshold of something which is very dangerous. There's evil, the sin, steering away from goodness is right there at the doorway. So this is the aspect. There too it uses this word Pesach, the doorway. Shachatas hu asitra achra. When it says the word chatas, which means sin, it's referring to the side of evil. Rovitz isla Pesach, which sits right there at the doorway. Kamesha Kosov. You can find another verse, it's in Proverbs chapter 14. Urishaim al sharit tzaddik. The evil ones wait at the gate of the righteous one. Sharishaim, who are the evil ones? Shema klipos, which is the forces of evil. Ayin al sharit tzaddik. They stay right there, they stand there at the gates of the righteous one. Shem shari hakedusha. What is the gates of the righteous one? It refers to the gates of holiness. They don't allow a person to enter. Now this is a tremendous challenge. The chaos that we see in the world today, whether it's to prevent Eretz Yisrael, the Jewish people inside of Israel, from protecting ourselves, whether it's just the challenges that we face throughout our day, whether it's from internet or whether it's there's so much chaos. There's so much, the forces of evil are really bucking up. They're really getting up and trying to prevent us from entering into the Shari Kedusha, the gates of holiness. So how do we bypass this? What's the tool? What's the power tool that helps us to bypass the forces of evil? Vikar hachna asam. How does one subordinate the forces of evil, says Rav Nosson? Hu al yidei ha'emes. It's by employing truth. Ki al yidei or ha'emes, through the light of truth, royenes ha'pesach, a person can see through the darkness. He can see that entrance, lichnois michutz lifnim, to be able to enter from outside to inside. Kimi she'einu roy lichnois lifnim, someone who's not fitting to be able to enter inside, they don't let, these forces of evil don't let him in to get into the Shari Kedusha, to enter into the gates of holiness. The Ikar Koicham Limnoya, where does their power come from to prevent a person from entering? It comes, it's in that which they spread themselves over the entranceway. They darken it in front of the person to the point where he can't see the entrance. The truth is, if someone is looking from the outside, if you're looking objectively, subjectively it feels like it's impossible to get in. It feels like it's impossible to have a spiritual connection. It feels like it's impossible to do Hashem's will. It's impossible to keep the Torah. That's how it feels. But that's all the lies of the forces of evil. The truth is that it is possible. The truth is that you can walk right through. It's right in front of a person. It's so simple and it's so easy. There's nothing preventing a person. The main thing that prevents a person is the darkness, which is referred to as a prevention. Like the verse says, it refers to the fact that Avram Avinu had the willingness to give up his son. He didn't withhold his son. The word chasachta, which means to withhold, the same letters also are choshech, the language of darkness. So Avram Avinu, Abraham, was willing to do what was right, to walk through the darkness, to walk through the forces of evil, to walk through and to enter into the Shari Kedusha, the gates of holiness. This means that the trickery that happens, that which a person is tricked with confusions and foolishness, the forces of evil darken a person's eyes, close a person's eyes. He feels like there's no openings, there's no way to get into holiness, to have a real relationship with Hashem. It's impossible. But the real truth is, the way of life, the true path, a way of spirituality, the way that leads to God is right there in front of every single person. Every single person, no matter how far they are, no matter where they are, they can just pick up and take that road. The road is right there in front of them, even though it doesn't feel that way. Even in the farthest, deepest depths of deprivation, of distance from Hashem, it's possible to come close to Hashem, as Rabbi Nachman writes many times. The person, the human being, is blind. He can't see that opening because of the dark forces, which are called darkness. These forces blind a person. They prevent him. This is the forces that we're speaking about in this verse. They're blind, and they're trying to prevent a person at the doorway. In this aspect of our verse, that their eyes became blinded, and they were unable to find that doorway. They were trying, but they were unable to find the doorway. So the Pashup Shot, the simple explanation of the verse, that it's speaking about the people of Sodom. But the way that Reb Nosson is explaining it is that the forces of evil act in this way to prevent a person, they blind a person and prevent him from finding the doorway into Kedusha. A person who doesn't have that spiritual power, doesn't choose to attach himself to Hashem's spiritual power, to break through the darkness, so they don't let him in. This is the aspect of blindness, till he tries, but he can't succeed to find the doorway. What's the only way? There's no other way to challenge the forces of evil. There's no other way except for employing truth, shining the light of truth. Wherever a person is, person needs to look not just at the truth, not at the superficial truth. We've spoken about the superficial truth, which says, where I am, I don't deserve to have a relationship with God. Where I am, the sins I've done, that's the lie. That's the lie. That's the darkness. The emes lamita is no matter where I am, no matter how far it seems, Hashem is infinite. I can attach myself to Hashem no matter where I am. Hashem can forgive me no matter how far I've gone. To draw himself, a person needs to draw himself only to truth. Basher Husham, wherever he is. And when he prays, he needs to say true things. And we'll see soon what that means, because sometimes a person has a hard time praying. I can't daven, I just don't feel it. The words aren't flowing. I'm spacing out. The words aren't coming. I don't feel anything. He needs to be real in his bakashas, in his requests of Hashem, wherever he is. Honest. Be honest. Even though he can't daven at all, he can't say anything to God. He's angry at God. No matter what, at least if he's angry, so say the truth. Say, Hashem, I'm so angry at you. And mean it, and say it for real, with all your heart. Or if a person feels like they have nothing to say to Hashem, they feel unworthy, say this, Hashem, save me. But say it and mean it. Say it for real. At least say those words just simple. Hashem, save me. Save me from myself. Save me from the darkness. Just say it and mean it. Just say it real. So the lie, the sanverim, the blindness, the darkness, the forces of evil, they lie and they cover up the truth and they say, this is our Harabais. They say, this is our temple, our holy place. And all of the forces of evil the media reports, this is their holy place. But it's not true. It's a lie. What's the truth? It's ours. It's our holy place. This is our center of the universe. This is our. This is not a place where only Arabs can pray. This is a place for all nations to pray. It's the Jewish house. It's the Har HaBayis. It's the house of the Jews. And through that, it's the house of worship for the entire world. It's not limited to any one peoples. Heaven forbid. So that's the lie. The truth. The truth is what breaks through the lies. And similar to this in all other things that a person might say. Say it for real. Say it in truth. Say a person can't say it with life. He can't say it with a fire. Just say it simply, with truth. Say it for real. Just be real. Says Rav Nassan an amazing thing. If you're just simple and real about where you are and who you are, and you have a real statement, Hashem help me, Hashem save me, so then that shines a light, and then all of a sudden you can see the opening. It seemed like there was no opening. You see like the darkness said that there's nothing here. There's nothing here. A little bit of truth. A little bit of truth clears away a lot of lies. Then Reb Nassan promises for sure you will merit to get in to the place of holiness. There's no such thing. There's nothing that stops a person. If you want it, you can have it. If you want a relationship with Hashem, no matter where you are, you can have it. The moment you see, the moment you spot that entrance into holiness, you can for sure get in. There's nothing that's going to stop you. You just have to really want it. You just have to be honest. That's it. I want to bless you, and please bless me. Hashem should help us to be able to clear through the chaos, the darkness, the Siddim, the Sodomites, wish to destroy us and wish to block us from entering into the Shari Kedusha, the gates of holiness. Hashem should help us to be able to see the truth, to be able to shine a light of truth through the darkness and the chaos of the world that we live in. Hashem should help us to have a real relationship with Him. Thank you so much for listening. Have a wonderful Shabbos. This podcast was made possible through the gracious donations of listeners like you. For more podcasts like this, please visit www.arigoldwag.com or search on iTunes Ari Goldwag.